Let's start with tzedakah. Let's do it together. And a little thought. We've concluded the first book of Bereshis. We're starting the second book of the Torah of Shemos, where is the story begins, at least with the story of our descent. Descent in a spiritual sense, in a physical sense, descent into Egypt, exile. The narrative for it, the Torah starts with the following words. And in fact, this is the name of the whole book. Shmois, names. Ve'ele Shmois b'nei Yisrael aboy Mitzrayim, says the Torah. And these are the names of those who came to Egypt, of the children of Yaakov. And he goes on to list them, the 12 tribes. Reuven, Shimon, etc. And then the Torah says, the amount of people that came, Vayihi kol nefesh yoytze Yaakov, shivim nefesh. There were a total of 70 people. Why is this necessary as an introduction to tell us that exile is starting? So Rashi, basic commentator, says the following. Although he counted them already with their names in the past, nevertheless, he counts them again even now after they passed. To tell us about how God is appreciating how dear we are to God, that we are compared to the stars. Each one is a star. Where God conducts the affairs of the stars by their names and by their numbers. And therefore, he says, the Rashi, the Torah, starts with naming them and counting them. Now, why do we need them both? The naming and the counting. Naming alone is already something. Oh, my son, and this daughter, and this child, and this grandchild, is obviously an expression of affection, doesn't it? You say, I have so many. The names itself is an indication of being endeared to God. Or, for that matter, counting in itself is enough also of an indication that we're endeared. What do we count over? We count over our money, we count over our change, something which is important, with something that we appreciate, something that we care about. So we count them. Why is it necessary for Torah to show how dear we are to him by naming and counting? So the Rebbe explains it as follows. Naming and counting, each one represents a different kind of endearment, a different kind of importance of why we are so precious to God. The name is very individual. Reuven is Reuven, and Shimon is Shimon, and Miriam is Miriam, and Dinah is Dinah, and I'm just taking names. Representing the preciousness of each one as their own identity, their own individuality. When we count, although we count individuals, but their importance is when it becomes a number. When we have a total, this represents what? We counted each, but their quality, the virtue in the counting is what? That they have this particular number, and they're all one of this particular number. But this represents something which is not their individuality, their personal identities, but rather what they have in common, that these 70 are all part of the group. So the Torah says the following. To God, we are precious on both levels. Because we count, we are part of the whole count. And what is this common denominator that we all have? That we're Jewish. That we are God's children. So this is one aspect of the endearment to God. But there's an addition to it, not just because we are part of this group, of this special group of children of Bonim Bnei Israel. It is also because of who we individually are. Every single person is precious, is dear. Reuven is dear, and Shimon is dear, and so on and so forth. And this is why the narrative, the going into exile, first and foremost we must know, although God is sending us in exile, but his love for us is unconditional. And it is this love for us and our love to him which brings us out of exile. And this has happened. And this is true not only for the exile in Egypt, this is true for the exile now.